$600,000 and more plus. And that's triple for RICO. So the argument goes back is that there's even prior to that, the county of San Bernardino had a judgment against them back in October 1st of 1980, where I proved it again that the county and the sheriff's department and the district attorney was trying to frame me on two other matters, and there's a subject matter there of a mortgage company that they concealed, keeping me from getting my return to me. So that's a good question. We have other matters there, but the question is right now whether Gibson will be able to sentence Mr. Braun if his presiding superior judge in Victorville looks like they're going to close Barstow. So I guess he could end up in Victorville, or the cases will come back to Victorville. But the escapee came from Victorville in October 26, 1992. So the supervising judge today is still has over finding someone like himself, because he's supposed to be a criminal and civil judge to sort out cases. And this one here, it's called exigent, EXIGEN circumstances, where a fugitive from justice can be retaken without a warrant, which Mr. Braun is. So, and it says about short-circuiting the paperwork and all the other stuff involved. Well, what I'm in, and how I arrived back into this matter is, those who cannot appear, it's an ex parte was filed on 12/10/12 at 7:30 in the morning, served by them, that they could. It says it's a 31.4. No right to appear is the ex parte heading that says the defendants who were the defaulted parties in FVI29004part, which is the tort of the PC9 crime of false arrest of Braun, can't appear to contest because they've been locked out of court. And it gets really interesting. I have to shut this thing off for a minute, and if it don't come back on and this gets up on the internet, we'll do the rest of this tomorrow, and by that time, if this thing gets on the internet, maybe it will get to Vanderveer before I get the paperwork to him, that he has to send somebody, one of his bailiffs, or any of the bailiffs, or he direct anybody, the City of Victorville Police Department, to go retake him, because it's the fugitive from the confinement of the custody of Gibson's court, which is Victorville, and they kicked Victorville Barstow Judge Gibson to Barstow in another matter that they dirtied him, so he went up, they sent him there. So it gets interesting. The case is still sitting in Victorville, even though they have destroyed, the clerks of the court literally destroyed this case, all the documents, paperwork, except for this one copy that I have of this hearing that my clerk, Mr. Cupp, long deceased, was blackmailing the city of Victorville and the county of San Bernardino. He was working for Commissioner Prue when we discovered Mr. Cupp was delivering floppy disks 3.5 to Mr. Prue in January of 1994. That's when I hired another blackmailing attorney who was an ex-Department of Justice attorney, an agent, he said, and he proceeded to work his way into more money out of the city of Victorville and the county of San Bernardino, and ironically, a little bit out of the U.S. government in the state of California. So right now, this is getting a little bit of time, and we're running short, so we're going to print this thing up and send it up, and we'll bring you more information on this fugitive for justice for 19 years who's not on the FBI's most wanted list, because the FBI back in 1978 is the one who rescued the county of San Bernardino Sheriff's Department rescuers. I arrested a reserve deputy, Chuck Hill, who is a fugitive to this day, and after he was arrested by me, citizen, a Sergeant Trumbull rescued Hill and arrested me. 2 LA police officers retired across the street. A man and his wife made Mr. Trumbull take me out of the squad car and unhook the handcuffs and turn me loose, because he was charging me with burglary of Hill's garage and the door was standing open. And that's the reason why the officers were out there, because Hill had asked them to watch his house while he took off on a police call. He was trying to get into this Apple Valley Police Department, volunteers or whatever, and that's why he left his garage door open when I came out to find him, because he was my finish carpenter and hadn't showed up for work. So And then the stuff that was in his garage, over $3,500, Trumbull turned around and gave it to the reserve deputy people that were up on off Navajo. There's rodeo training facilities up there on the private property of a person that was reserved, and all that stuff went up there. We followed it up there, so that was $3,500 under RICO, big deal. But they confiscated my material and stole that. That's the first time that's called embezzlement. But that puts it into PC 510 when there's a subject of death that's been delivered, and that hasn't. But the one on October 1st of 1980, the California Fourth Court of Appeals said that the defendants were to make Mr. Durston whole again. Well, they didn't really give a price on it, a value on it. It's just that it was supposed to make restitution for my legal fees, and at the time they had run over $10,000. That's $30,000, RICO, big deal. But there was other damages. I lost 4 or 5 businesses. I lost my reputation, my good name, and everything else to this matter, and I'd like to bring it back. I've been wrongfully charged by the County of San Bernardino in the District Attorney's Office, and the City of Victorville just did it again. In another court, they have proceeded to show up and charge Ernest Durston. I fired my public defender because the prior public defender had got a winning ticket. They stole my car. City of Victorville Police Department seized it because I have a Nevada driver's license. I live in Nevada since 1994, and because they want me to get me a California driver's license so that they move out of the way of I repoed a mobile home belonging to Randy Patmeter on one day of last 2011, and the next day the sheriffs came in to evict Randy, and they seized the mobile home, gave it to the mobile home park, and who proceeded to sell it, and they put into the state of California a document that says I had abandoned it, when in fact when the sheriff was there, they changed the locks on it, locked me out of it, kicked everything out. I couldn't get my property out of the inside that Randy had transferred over to me. Under the buildings there was vehicles that disappeared, stolen, or taken away that the park should have been in control of, but didn't. They could care less because the sheriff gave them the mobile home. Sheriff's office, court officer, gave the permission to break into the mobile. It was posted front and rear. I've been repoing mobile homes for many years, and so I put the posting up that normal that you would see, that notifying everybody. Went to the park and told them that I had taken possession of it, and they said they could care less. Randy was the one that owed the rent, but that's beside the point. When the property changes hand, the repossession part belongs to the mobile home, goes with the new owner. They want to remove Randy from there. That's only a personal thing. He would already left the property. I already showed existence. I was there. So that's really interesting. So between the seizing of my car, which cost me about $600 or $800 to get it back from the next couple of days, and the mobile home, I've never been able to do that. We moved that in the United States District Court right after that. There wasn't much you could do from there because this matter was still unfound with this FVI29004, the courts concealing the conviction of Braun and his rescue as a fugitive. And eventually in October or September of last 2011, I finally put all the pieces together, and I tried to get something done. I even went to the California Attorney General Harris, and they refused to look at their own case of a fugitive that was California fugitive. I even went to the United States Marshal Service in Los Angeles. I even went to the one in Washington, D.C. to show that they were agents, that the bailiffs were agents under this thing, and they don't want to look at that either because they can't see from 4 pages of something. They want to have willful blindness everywhere you look. Our government is made for they who prosecute only those who they want to, and if they are the privileged, they don't seem to get arrested. Well, this case, he got a charge, convicted. They didn't get arrested, but he's never been booked, fingerprinted. He should be in the next couple of days. And 10 to 1, they will let this man sit out Christmas before they hook him. And that just shows it's an obstruction of justice that's based upon this as being made a public witness notice that there's a fugitive out there. The state of California Harris should go after him. U.S. Attorney Eric Holder should go after him because this is the federal offense. federal drugs offenses are part of the United States District Court, even though Gibson sits as a dual sovereignty judge, both. So we have a judge sitting here who can take he's already done the conviction, so he has a right to give the sentencing part. He just can't pick where the sentencing goes to. Only the U.S. Attorney Holder can designate which prison Braun will go to. But that's all good, well and good, but that's after Mexico gets their hold on him, and that gets done first. So it's going to get interesting. More to hear there. Let's see if it runs out. And you have a good evening, and it's almost 8:20, and I need to call it quits this evening and try to get myself something for some kind of a peace of mind if this finally hits the internet. Thank you. My first name is Ernest. The last name is Durston.